Saturn Mahadasha Part 2. In the last video that I made about Saturn Mahadasha, I touched upon the basics of what Saturn Mahadasha is. I touched upon, Saturn's agenda, Saturn as a planet, and the importance of Saturn's planetary time period in your life, and how exactly do we interpret it? How exactly do we understand that, okay, this is how we have to navigate this time period, and these are generally what the results will be. Now, in this video, I'm going to expand a little bit more upon how can you best align yourself with Saturn's energy during Saturn Mahadasha. So if you're running Saturn time period, if you're running Saturn's 19-year Mahadasha, what can you do to align yourself in a better way with Saturn's energy? And first of all, is that really going to make a difference? Because a lot of people don't know about Vedic astrology. A lot of people, they don't worry that much about stars, planets, etc. So does Saturn Mahadasha influence those people also? Or does it only influence the people who are worried about what this Mahadasha is going to do for me or not? So guys, what you got to understand is that when we are watching out for stars, planets, and these subtle changes in the spiritual realm, okay, we are doing that to stay ahead of the curve. We are doing that to increase our awareness. You don't necessarily need to do that. You don't necessarily need to follow the nakshatras or the days or the tithis or the months. You don't even necessarily need to follow the dates. You don't need to do that. But the reason that we have a calendar, the reason why we have dates is because there is a structure that we adhere to as part of our lives. The career that we go to, the trains that need to run, the flights that need to run. Okay, all of them Saturn, by the way. In the same way, in Vedic culture, we just took into account the tithi, we took into account the nakshatra, we took into account the var. Our way of looking at days and our way of timekeeping was just a little bit different. It was quantitative in nature, yes, but it was also qualitative in nature. With time, because when a culture is that old, with time you begin to see patterns. Okay, don't you think that this makes sense, that most of the time on this particular tithi this happens, most of the time on this particular var this seems to happen, and so on that over thousands and thousands of years, hundreds and thousands of years, you finally built a sort of system which we have today, through which Vedic astrological analysis and following the stars, following the lunar cycles, on the basis of which we scheduled festivals, on the basis of which we scheduled important events, Navaratri, important religious time periods, and all of that. That's it. So Saturn Mahadasha is just another time period in your life where, if you have awareness of Saturn Mahadasha, you can make a lot of progress in this time period. Because this Mahadasha, unlike any other Mahadasha, no matter how well your Saturn is placed, and I can tell you this for sure, your Saturn can be placed, making a great yoga in your 11th house, great Dhan yogas, great Raj yogas, 11th house, 10th house, But if you do not work, nothing's going to come to you. Saturn Mahadasha is that period of time where, I don't know if you guys have read this poem. We read it, in school, the Albatross. And so, it's the poem about a group of sailors on a boat, and they get caught up in the doldrums. In the doldrums, nothing moves, okay, near the equator, because there's no wind. And they were stuck there for days, and unfortunately on their ship they didn't have any paddles either. But in those times, when you had a ship that got stuck in the doldrums, you had to start paddling and get your way out of that. Okay, so Saturn periods are like that. There doesn't seem quite often to be an apparent wind to assist your movement. You have to paddle, you have to get down, you have to do the dirty work, and you have to understand that this is a time period where things are going to be tough, because I am being pushed to build muscle. One of the things that you can actually do in Saturn time period, Saturn Mahadasha, in fact, even Saturn Antardashas, And we're going to take a different perspective towards it when we take the Charadasha. One of the things that you need to keep in mind is that whenever Saturn's here in your life, in the form of an important transit like Sade Sadi, or in the form of an important transit like Mahadasha, you have to start focusing on losing weight, getting fitter. You have to start focusing on doing the work that you've been putting off. That's what Saturn is. You have to start focusing on being more considerate towards how much of a struggle life is for other people. You have to start taking that into account. You have to start demanding more of yourself and less of others. You have to start picking up a lot of other people's slack, and you have to just tell yourself, that's okay. This is just to help me build muscle. Now, I'm not saying that you drag relationships that are not working out just because it's Saturn Mahadasha. No. That is also one of the important lessons of Saturn. Saturn's lessons are simple. It's about creating simplicity with respect to your life. So if you have relationships that are not working out and that are affecting your peace of mind, that are affecting your finances, that are affecting your quality of work, that are affecting your productivity, get those relationships out of your life. If you have problems with respect to finances, with respect to health, with respect to your home repairs, get them out of the way in Saturn Mahadasha. Okay? Because those small things, if you let them be, are going to multiply over time, and they're going to turn into big problems. And then you're going to be like, oh, Saturn doesn't like me. Look what he did. No, Saturn's job is only to tell you, look, dude, life is cause and effect. Okay? So one of the primary things I would say everybody that needs to do, in Saturn period is, please start some kind of a fitness routine. Any kind of health issues that you have, please take them seriously. Get yourself tested, routine tests time to time. Please do that. Please lose a couple of pounds, and please donate as much as you can. Donate your time. You don't necessarily have to donate your money. Pick a cause, any cause that you are passionate about. For example, how do I manage my Saturn? Quite often I, give some free time to people who cannot afford my session on Saturdays. I do that. There's just a limited time that I can allot for that, but that's how I do it. That's easiest for me to do. Okay, if you're a doctor, you could do the same thing. You could just, look at a couple of patients, every Saturday. That's it. Not charge them money for it. And you'll be like, don't you think Saturn's a calculative planet and what we are doing is against Saturn? No. Saturn is understanding that what goes around comes around. There are no shortcuts, but you have to try to be a better human being. Let me tell you a very interesting story. So, anthropologists, archaeologists, the way that they deduce, how civilized a culture is, any culture of human beings, animals, whatever, how do they draw the conclusion that these people were quite civilized? One of the first things that they look at is how much help is provided by members of the culture to each other. Can they care for the people who are sick? Can they care for the people who are young? Can they care for the people who cannot look after themselves? Wolves are closest to us in that regard. Wolves will often hunt for the old members of the family. That is something that you will often see. In wolves, you will also see that quite often, mothers will nurse babies that are not their own if something has happened to their mothers. So, in many ways, our social structure is quite similar to wolves. But I digress. Long ago, when there was excavation, going on, there was this civilization. I'm going to read out that particular instance so that you know about it. Anthropologist Margaret Mead believed that a 15,000-year-old healed femur is your thigh bone, it's the longest bone in the body, found in an archaeological site was the first evidence of human civilization. She suggested that the healed femur indicated that someone had cared for a wounded hunter over a long period of time, providing food, shelter, and protection. Mead explained that in Paleolithic times, a person with a broken femur would be unable to hunt or run away from predators and would likely die or be beaten. She said that helping someone in need is where civilization begins. Mead also said that a broken femur that has healed is evidence that someone stayed with the injured person, bound up the wound, carried the person to safety, and tended to the person during recovery. Okay? So we are only as civilized as we understand others' pain, as we seek to help, as we seek to look beyond what we want at a personal level and widen our scope to take into account what we can do for society. Saturn is a planet who is about running the ecosystem that you're living in. Every time Saturn comes along, doesn't matter who you are, I can guarantee it. Look at charts, and we're going to be doing this in my Astro Life coaching course. We're going to be taking up these case studies. In case you want to apply, the links given here in the description box, you should check out and apply. Application is still open, but it doesn't matter who you are. You are Adani, you are Ambani, you are Donald Trump, you are President Bush, you are Osama. Doesn't matter who you are. Saturn comes along, he tests everybody through the same set of qualities that he is required to bring out from you, from within you. Are you doing the right thing? Are you staying on the right side of the road? Are you contributing positively to mankind? Are you making some kind of improvement in the social ecosystem? People who are doing that already will get the benefits of Saturn when Saturn Mahadasha comes along. Okay, they will get the support, they will get the recognition, they will get the citations, they will get all these resources that you need. People who are not doing that, at the very least, things are going to come to a standstill. That's it. That's what Saturn Mahadasha is like. That is why Rahu Mahadasha, I completely understand. It can be, really problematic. I've written so many answers on Rahu Mahadasha, and it's difficult because you don't know how to navigate it all. Saturn Mahadasha is, you know what you want to do. You know how you want to do it. It somehow just stops happening completely. Okay, and so if that has been happening to you, all you need to do is you need to get back to the basics of being a good human being. If you don't know how to be a good human being, please attend lectures, attend the sessions of different societies. There's so many different societies. There's Chinmaya Mission, there's Art of Living, there is RK Mission. India has given rise to so many different societies, spiritual societies that are spread across the world. Doesn't matter where you are. You can join one of them. Go to an ashram, go to Shivananda, go to Isha. Okay? And if you can actually manage it, if you really are into it, go for some time to, Bihar School of Yoga, Munger. Okay? So there are plenty of different avenues. I'm not associated, by the way, with any of these organizations. I'm just telling you because I know they're pretty good. Okay? So whatever you do, Saturn Mahadasha needs to be a period of your life where you are very conscious that compared to other Mahadashas, this Dasha will give you some disadvantages, but compared to other Mahadashas, at least 80% of the power is going to be given to you. Okay? And so people who think that things are not moving, I don't know what to do, Saturn Mahadasha, everything was going fine. Yes. Get down. Get down to the basics. Make things happen. And when you start making things happen, you actually start realizing quite a bit. And I have personally seen people who have actually made it great in Saturn Mahadashas. They've achieved great feats of success in the Saturn periods. And it's possible for everybody to do that. One of the most prominent examples that I know is of a person, great, he was pretty great in stocks, investments, virtual money, crypto and all of that. All of that stopped working out for him Saturn period. Saturn Mahadasha came along. He encountered a little bit of a low and confusion. Damn, why the hell isn't it working out? Then he started, a pretty good business. And then he started from one business, he multiplied that into 2, 3 businesses. All in the span of Saturn Mahadasha, which he never would have done if his trading and stocks and crypto, etc. thing hasn't worked out. That's what Saturn does. Saturn says, look, this you're going to get. This you're used to getting because of Jupiter. Okay? This you are still going to get in, let's say, Mercury period. But in my period, I am going to make you work for things to show you what you are truly capable of. And you're like, I don't want to know what I'm truly capable of. Too late, kid. You're here on this planet. You're born in the material plane. So you are here. Your soul is here to know, to feel, to understand, to realize, to experience what it's capable of. It's your mind being lost in Maya that tells you that I don't want to know. You want to know. That is why you still haven't got moksha. That is why you're still stuck here. So there's nothing that there's nothing as enlightening as challenges. There is nothing more beautiful than a powerful man standing up to the challenges of the world. I paraphrase a tad, but this is taken from Marcus Aurelius's. I think this is one of the quotes of one of the Stoics, probably Seneca. Okay, this is just another video to continue the Saturn Mahadasha series. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. Push the bell icon so that you can be notified every single time I post. If you want a seat in my Astro Life coaching program, links given here in the description box. You can apply. Once I get it, we'll have to set up a short discovery call to talk and see if we're a good fit, and then we can take it further from there. Thank you so much. Take care. Hari Om.